He successfully led strikes and boycotts that resulted in the first industry-wide labor contracts in the history of American agriculture. His union efforts brought about the passage of the groundbreaking 1975 California Agricultural Labor Relations Act to protect farm workers. Today, it remains the only law in the nation that protects the farm workers' rights to unionize.
Hola, would you like more water?
He was a unique and humble leader. In addition to being a great humanitarian and communicator who influenced and inspired millions of Americans to seek social justice and civil rights for the poor and disenfranchised. Cesar formed a diverse and extraordinary national coalition of students, middle-class consumers, trade unionists, religious groups, and minorities. In 1968, he fasted for 25 days to bring attention to nonviolence and the farm labor movement. In 1972, he fasted for 25 days. In 1988, at the age of 61, he endured a 36-day fast, and it was called the Fast for Life. This fast was to highlight the harmful impact of pesticides on farm workers and their children. On April 23rd, 1993, in San Luis, Arizona, Cesar passed away in his sleep. More than 50,000 people attended his funeral. Cesar's life could not be measured in terms of material possessions. He never made more than $6,000 a year. He never owned a home. And when Cesar passed, he had no savings to leave his family. There's a famous picture of Cesar. I don't know how many of you have seen it. It's at the Walter Reuther Library, and he's holding a hoe. He has done well. He has led us. He has been a model for us, and he has been an inspiration. On this day, on behalf of the city of Lansing and Latinos across the country, we take his hoe that he cultivated and he harvested, he planted for us, and we say, Cesar, it's time for you to rest, my friend. Many of us were honored to meet and stand with Cesar. I have a picture. One of these days, I'm going to take it out, of Tonantzin and Paul Vasquez on the Capitol steps. Tonantzin was a young thing then. She's still beautiful and still young. She was a younger thing then. On the Capitol next to Cesar. Michigan was one of Cesar's homes. He was welcomed here, and he had the support of the unions throughout the state. So many of us had an opportunity to meet him and to stand with him and to march with him. And now comes all of us. And I have many stories to tell you about Cesar, but that will be a conversation for the future. How will each of us honor Cesar's memory? It is time to pick up the hoe and face the rows before us. There's a blue Menards can. This is the kind that when we were children, you pick cucumbers in these, okay? And until you can carry it, somebody older, you fill it and somebody carries it for you until you can carry it yourself and get it to the end of the row. I'd like Elba to step forward at the front of the stage. We're going to pass this can around. Inside the can is a statement announcing the agreement for the renaming of the street and the plaza. This can will pass around to all of you, and it's very important that every person contribute something to this can. It can be a quarter, it can be $1. This is going to be the seed that we plant today that will grow and fund the entrance to the Cesar Chavez Plaza. So if you will join us, Elba will pass it around, and if each of you will make a contribution, a small contribution in that can, we will continue this ceremony. We'll want the can to come back to the front. Wait for the can to come back. Okay, let's pass it around quickly.
Okay, I put my name. We have to run. He has to go meet his friend.
I got to tell you.
Okay.
You know what the Mexicans used to call the John?
What?
One.
That's funny. I like it.
Good luck.
Congratulations.
I'll be in touch with you. Okay. You don't like that?
While the can's getting around, I'll explain this other thing. This is a mixture of soil, mulch, and a little time-release fertilizer. And we will do a symbolic, when the can comes back around, I'd like to ask the committee to step forward again, and we will take turns sprinkling the soil on the funds that we've collected, so that will form the basis for this fund to grow. So let's get the can back up, and then we'll have the committee step up. Especially we'll start